everybody, how are you doing, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. My name is Shaun and I am a YouTube vlogger from Edinburgh in Scotland, but today I am in Lisbon, Portugal. Welcome to my neighbourhood here in Lisbon while we're staying here. There is so much going on and so many interesting things to see and do in this neighbourhood, and just so many awesome photograph opportunities. Look at this neighbourhood, it's so cool. I'm going to show you more of it over the coming days throughout this vlog, but today's episode I'm going to be covering something that a lot of people have requested. So, throughout doing these vlogs here in Lisbon, Portugal over the last couple of years, a lot of people have asked me, where do you stay in Lisbon? How much does it cost and what type of place can you get? I have been to this amazing city now 4 times and it has taken me a long time to master where to stay and how to stay here in Lisbon. But I finally think we've cracked it, you know, staying in a good place, and especially if you're going to be here staying in Airbnbs, I think I can show you probably what has been my favourite place to stay here in Lisbon, absolutely, since I started coming here about 4 or 5 years ago. The thing about Lisbon is prices are shooting up. They have been for the last year or two. Tourist numbers here in the city have absolutely exploded, and it is actually difficult to find anywhere whatsoever to stay nowadays, and Airbnb has certainly managed to fill the gaps, and a lot of people are using Airbnb. But there are good and bad Airbnbs, as I've discovered over the last couple of years. We finally found one that is absolutely spectacular and I'm happy enough to share and totally recommend it. It is beautiful. Anyway, I want to show you our apartment. Now, when you're outside it, it does not look much. In fact, we were pretty scared when we stopped outside it. We were like, are we staying here, really? Because when you look at the front door in the building, it's like, But guys, listen, all the buildings up here in Alfama are like 800 years old. So they're all looking a very similar rustic style, right? Original Portuguese style. Let me give you a wee tour. Now we're inside. One thing about apartments here in Lisbon, especially in Alfama, is they're very, very steep. We are 4 stories up. The stairs are like that. It's like climbing up a mountain. You do not want to arrive at the top of here and fall all the way down there. Trust me. Okay, so it is time for the house tour. Here is the front door. And I think this is interesting because it will give you a rough guide as to what type of Airbnb you can get for your money. Anyway, this here is a master bedroom. Double bed, picture of the Bell Tower. Good space for 2 people. That's right next to the front door. Then as we come in the main hallway, we've got the steps leading up to what is actually a living room up there, but it can also be turned into a bedroom, which is what we've done because we're 4 people. And my parents-in-law are staying in the main master bedroom and we're staying upstairs. I actually think upstairs is better, with a big sofa bed which spreads out. I'll show up there in a second, but anyway. This is the main kind of shared living space. And basically it's got a dining room table there which extends out. It's big enough for 4 people. And then underneath the stairs here, we've got towels and stuff hanging up all on the railings and stuff. Just ignore that. Anyway, underneath the stairs here, we've got all the different things you might ever need here. We've got microwaves, we've got toasters, we've got a kettle, a spare kettle, we've got a hoover, the microwave, and a big fridge, which is important. And then just off the main living space here, we have the bathroom. It's all brand new. Everything in this apartment is brand spanking new, which is why it is such a good place and perfect for 4 people, 2 couples. It's absolutely ideal. Here is the main kitchen space, the sink, and all the utilities. We've made a mess of everything, but just pretend it's all brand spanking new. When we came in here, it had just been cleaned and it was perfect. There's a window which leads out to kind of a back patio area, which is not for us to use. They've managed to fit a lot of stuff and a lot of living space into a very narrow area. It's actually a very narrow and small area, which all of the apartments up here in this neighbourhood in Alfama are all like this, because Alfama, the buildings are all very old, right? I'm going to show you up the stairs now. This is the main living area and it's actually like an attic. Big TV there, but it's a slanted roof because this is literally the roof of the whole building. We're up on the 4th floor. And the sofa folds out into a nice big double bed as well, which we have been sleeping in and it's perfect. Yes, the roof is slanted, and yes, I have bumped my head on this side plenty of times already, but that's fine. But yeah, it's a nice place to stay here in Lisbon. Perfect location. The price is this. And I think that is pretty reasonable for 4 people staying for all the time that we're staying here in Lisbon. I guess one thing to say is when you're looking on Airbnb and you want to stay in the old town, do look up places that are marked as renovated, because some of the older buildings here, if they've not been renovated, they can be really different to what you might be used to. Let's put it that way. But the ones that are renovated like this are absolutely pristine. Another thing it's worth mentioning, this neighbourhood has been totally taken over by Airbnbs now. There are not that many locals who have remained. People have been buying these apartments up over the last couple of years because Lisbon is in a state of boom. And I think the city, and pretty much all cities, Edinburgh as well, where I'm from, are looking into ways to kind of mitigate the effects of that. But basically what it means is this neighbourhood, like all our neighbours on this landing are all Airbnbs, and they come and they go all the time. Sometimes you get a lot of people who are like party goers, and they might be out all night and stuff making noise, which, you know, that's what they're here to do, I guess. But I have learned that a lot of the locals are a little bit fed up with this, and that's why a lot of them who have been able to have sold out and moved out. But listen, if you're a tourist or a traveller, what are you going to do? You want to stay close to the city centre. If you want to travel, like we do, the whole thing used to be a monopoly of hotels. Wherever you travelled in the world, it was a hotel monopoly, and that's the only place you could stay. They almost operated like cartels because you had no choice, you had to stay in a hotel, and the prices were so inflated. So of course, when something like Airbnb came along, a lot of travellers thought it's a perfect way to stay in new locations like what we're doing now, and it's great. Like, this is absolutely ideal, this place for us. And I do appreciate it's causing social problems in cities like Lisbon and many others around Europe and the whole world, but is it our responsibility to say, actually no, I'm not going to stay in a place because it is causing problems for the locals? Or are you going to spend all the money that you've worked hard for and go in really expensive hotels? I think no. Like, if you want to experience places, you should go to them and you should stay in Airbnbs. And I think the best that we can do, right, as travellers, as people who come to these types of places, is be responsible in our own actions, right? We know that other people who come are not all going to be responsible, and that is going to cause problems for the locals, absolutely. And neighbourhoods like this are just going to become like basically total void of local people. A lot of them don't like living here anymore because it is just full of tourists all the time who are staying around about them. We did see the other day an old woman out on the street shouting up 2 floors above her for people who are renting an apartment, screaming her head off at them for making too much noise, and like, that's not cool. But at the same time, it's not our responsibility to fix problems in places like this, right? We can only do what we can do. And this is the cheapest way for most travellers, so we're going to use it. The cities might end up one day regulating things in a different way, but like, we just have to do what we can do, really. Be responsible in your own travelling, that's what I say. Anyway, listen, I highly recommend this place to stay. I'm going to put links down below to this exact place that we're staying. If you come to Lisbon, I highly recommend this city. I've been here 4 times now. I love it. Lisbon is great. Yes, it's got problems right now because it is such a popular destination. It is in vogue. Like Scotland is, like Edinburgh, Lisbon is actually one of the hottest places in Europe right now because it's a cheap place to come and eat and experience a lot of things. But accommodation prices have went up substantially, and which has affected the local economy. But the local economy is also benefiting big time from tourism. Anyway, come to Portugal, come to Lisbon. It is a fantastic place. I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend coming to look at Airbnbs like this one.